I want you to know that I see you, and you look beautiful. I must do this because there is someone representing history sitting in our audience. And she's hoping that I don't do this. But this is history. Otto and Verdell Rutherford were longtime civil rights stalwarts. They worked for decades in the 30s, 40s, into the 50s to ensure the passage of legislation known as the Public Accommodations Law, one of the first civil rights bills to pass in this nation in 1953, and they did it as members and leaders in the Portland chapter of the NAACP. Now, I want to tell you that Otto and Verdell Rutherford, or shall I say Verdell and Otto Rutherford, and that family, they came to Oregon at the turn of the 20th century, before the turn of the 20th century. Their daughter, Charlotte, is sitting here, the Honorable Charlotte Rutherford, retired administrative law judge. Please stand and represent your family and that legacy and that history Thank you.
Oh, we got a lot of some people in
We have come.
Got a lot of good people here.
We have come with a call to America's conscience. And in the beloved name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and all civil rights heroes and sheroes, we have come armed with truth and love to put light on the dark situation in our nation. We have come like people all over our nation today, strengthened in our resolve to replace hatred on the rise in our nation and abroad, to replace hatred with love, to replace tension with trust, and selfishness with caring and community. In preparing for today, I gratefully reviewed for inspiration Marion Wright Edelman's brilliant Guide My Feet, Prayers and Meditations for Our Children, published in 1996, at that time approaching 25 years since the March on Washington. I am mindful that many, many children participated in the movement for civil rights. In fact, we marched in Portland, Oregon in 1963 when I was a teenager to protest the horrific church bombing and murder of the 4 little girls in Alabama: Denise McNair, Carol Robertson, Addie Mae Collins, and Cynthia Wesley. I came across some passages that fit this time of reflection and recommitment to the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. This necessary and continued time of agitation. My offering today is in the form of a prayer, drawing deeply from my sister Marion's well. God, please help us remember that all the darkness in the world cannot snuff out the little light of one candle. The light of one little candle. Remind us that we are standing our ground today in the place of the 4 little girls. Help us keep lighting our little candles until a mighty torch of justice sweeps our nation and And we ask now that God give us the strength to exile any sentiment of defeat and wrestle all despair to the floor and throw all apathy to the winds and feed depression to the hogs. God, send us and help us to be like the many people and organizations who planned this march today. Righteous warriors, moral guerrillas,